Chip, welcome to Seatown Bikes Confessions. Tell us a little about yourself. How did you get involved with Newton Trails, and what drew you to do this type of work?
So I'm the chairman of the board of the Newton Trails Board of Directors. We're a nonprofit, and I just recently retired the past couple of years from federal government as a meteorologist for the National Weather Service, and I always wanted to be involved with the trails. I'm a four-time Ironman, and 10 years ago I used to do Ironman, and I really wish that I had had this trails system to run on and ride on. And when it started to develop over the past 10 years, I always wanted to be engaged with them. And after I retired, I got out there we have a Thursday work group of people to get together to clean the trails. And I started with them the first week after I retired. And I did that for a few months. And then after that, I was asked to join the board about 6 months in. And then just this past January, I was asked to step up and become the chairman and lead the board, and to help navigate some of the future of the trails.
Congratulations. As you know, before you even became president, if I needed something done, I would call Chip. So congratulations with that. So tell us about the mission of Newton Trails. And then while you get into that, talk to us about your accomplishments.
So we have, our focus is to advocate for trails in Newton County, Georgia, and to bring the people to the table that both at the municipal, city level and the county level and the state level, and to help develop those trails. We're a 501c3 charitable organization. We build trails and develop trails and maintain trails off of generous donors, and both at the corporate and private level. And we even go out as far as doing our own trails and maintaining our own trails and developing our trails. The biggest one is our flagship, the Cricket Frog Trail, that is just a little bit over 14 miles right now. When it's done, it'll be closer to 18 miles. And that's kind of like I said, our flagship trail. And it was done in pieces throughout the years. In this past few months, we just had a trestle bridge refitted over the Alcovy River that connected two large sections in Newton County, and now it's 14 miles of continuous, and we're pretty proud of that bridge.
I'll tell you about my Jim Benning riding over that bridge story off cameras one day.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you're not doing the work for the trails, what can we find you doing? What do you like doing?
So I'm a big cyclist, and unfortunately, it's combining work and pleasure. And I go out and ride the trail. It gives me out there. Like I said, it's 14 miles, so it's a good 25, 30-mile ride. It's a nice, comfortable exercise. Plus, it gets me out on the trail to check out the trail, make sure it's clean, make sure there's no issues, no trees laying across it. So it's, like I said, it's my pleasure time and my exercise time combined.
So with all the trails around town, should I assume that your favorite trail is the Cricket Frog or the East Side Trail, or are there other trails that you like around Georgia?
So we have other trails, and in Newton County we have a couple trails. The Cricket Frog is a rails to trails. We leased the property from the railroad and turned it into a trail. And what the advantage of that is, it is gradual slopes and it's canopied, so you got a lot more shade. And if I want a nice casual ride, that's my go-to trail. If I want to do a little hill work, I go out on the East Side Trail, which was not rails to trails. Got a little bit sharper hills to it, gives me a little bit more workout. And if I want to really do some distance, I may put the bike in the car and maybe go up to the Silver Comet, where you can get upwards of well over 100 miles on an out and back on that trail. But I'm a big advocate of trails in Georgia or anywhere, just because they're so much safer than being out on the road nowadays.
And we thank you for doing that. What are some of the key projects that Newton Trails are working on currently?
So, as I just mentioned, the East Side Trail and the Cricket Frog Trail, coming soon to a county near you. We're going to connect that trail, the East Side Trail, through the, what it was the old high school is now the STEAM school. We're going to come up in front of that and we're going to connect that trail, the East Side Trail, to the Cricket Frog, which will give us about a 6-mile loop that you can go out and run about a 10K if you want to do that. Or it also connects people on that side of town to the East Side Trail without having to go out onto the road and into dangerous conditions, and vice versa to the other direction. So people on this side of town can get on the East Side Trail, get on the Cricket Frog, and go all the way to Mansfield and New Bern from this side of town safely.
Well, you've heard it here first, guys. The East Side Trail is connecting to the Cricket Frog Trail. So these things are big projects. And I know you guys probably get emails or calls all the time asking someone to connect from their house or their farm or whatever. How do you guys go about selecting these projects or deciding what's the best project to take on?
Well, so it's almost a concept of the lowest hanging fruit. What is the easiest to do? The Cricket Frog was relatively easy to do once we acquired the land from the railroad because it was already established. When you start doing connectors and other trails, now you get into having to acquire easements from private landowners and corporate landowners. So it takes a little bit of time to get their permission and to go across their property to establish that. So the easier it is to acquire that is what we'll go to first. Our goal with the Cricket Frog is another thing coming up soon is we're going to go from the current end, just east of Mansfield. We're going to go into New Bern, and we've already acquired those permissions, and we're going to do that within the next few months. The other goal, the original goal, was to start from Porterdale, and we're working on acquiring those easements. So that'll be in the future too, but it takes a little bit longer to get those permissions from private landowners.
I'm excited. And you guys out there, just keep it calm. It's gonna come to us, okay? These projects could be probably 1, 2, 5, 10 years ahead, but they will come. And I know Chip, as long as he's the president, will achieve that. So talking about first and making announcements, we're happy to announce that us at Seatown Bikes are pledging 1% of our profit directly to the connection of the East Side Trail and the Cricket Frog Trail, guys. We believe, and this is having an impact on our community, and we believe so much in this that we're willing to give 1% of our business back to Newton Trails to accomplish this step.
And we thank you very much for that. It's going to go a long way to get that accomplished.
We absolutely think so. So for people who are loving the trails, what are ways that we can help? What ways can we contribute to or donate to upkeep of these trails? As I know it's not free.
So you can do it one of two ways. You can either email us at info.newtontrails.org, and we can walk you through how to donate, or you can go to our website, which is newtontrails.org, and it'll walk you through how to donate. We have both private donors and we have corporate donors, and we are not government. We are not government funded, other than grants that we may acquire. So all the maintenance, all the expansion of the trails, all comes from private donors, generous private donors and corporate donors, and you can get that information off of our webpage.
Chip, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I feel like almost like we've had like a history lesson here in the Cricket Frog and the East Side Trail. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Yep, thank you, Al.